Hi, I'm Anna.
And I'm Ben.
We are AutoSave. Welcome to our channel.
Today we're watching My Hero Academia, Season 6, Episode 11. Last episode we ended off in a very tense situation regarding Uraraka and Toga. There was specific language used from Uraraka that I don't even know if she intended to use it for the purpose that I think it did, which is letting Toga know that she intends to catch Toga and not just kill her, even after acknowledging what Toga probably just did in killing another human being just for this petty little thing.
Just to lead Uraraka somewhere to ask her a question that Uraraka basically told Toga wasn't worth taking someone's life. And Toga didn't take that well because this question was very important to her.
Yeah, we also learned a little bit about transference in regards to inside of One for All and All for One and how they're connected, and we saw the interactions. That was great. We also...
And Deku is worth it.
And
Deku is the body that they are staying in.
And I like the defense of Deku. It's nice. I don't know. We also got a bunch, in my opinion, of Dabi because he wants to destroy human society, and it's just like... I don't know. I feel like that's the next plot point we're hitting on because we have the withdraw from Shigaraki in the Deku fight. We have Uraraka and Toga, but Toga potentially just got her answer. Mm-hmm. And
Toga
Dabi
could probably
said some...
just leave at this point.
Yeah, Dabi was like, said some cliffhanger kind of shit, man. Like he wants to destroy human society now.
And we really still have Gigantomachia with Dabi and some of the other League of Villains on the back. Probably almost there. To be honest, he's already gone through so many cities and destroyed them. He's probably almost there, and none of the heroes that didn't get invited on this secret mission are going to be strong enough to stop them, in my opinion.
No, you're right. I don't know. I think that a few episodes ago, I wasn't sure how this season was going to progress because I couldn't think of any possible way to get out of this fight. But now, like, as the episodes progress, I'm thinking that it's just going to result in a kind of similar sense of the training camp incident at the beginning of season 3. Like, there's a withdrawal, there's a break, but it's a loss for now. Like, at the end, sure, the world isn't blowing up or Shigaraki isn't ruling it yet, but it's going to be very hard to think of any of this as a victory for the heroes.
It won't be a win as long as Shigaraki is still alive.
Yeah.
If he gets away here...
Or not captured.
Yeah, right. If he gets away here, it's only like sadness, destruction, and loss of faith.
And fear. When is it going to happen again?
Are going to be left in the wake, yeah.
I don't know. I'm nervous for it, but I feel like that's the route we're going to go.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. I don't know what's to come after that, though. 11 episodes down. I don't think that we're taking like a 12-episode break like some anime series right now. I think we're just going right through, but I'm unsure.
Right. We talked about if we thought once Shigaraki withdrew, and we talked about this, I think, in the car. Yeah. One morning.
We do talk in the car.
Yes, we do talk in the car. What do we think would be the life for these students after this battle? And I think we both were like, okay, well, they tried so hard to continue to bring the students back to some normalcy after any of the other incidents happened. And I think that this is kind of like, you can't do that. I don't even know if a return to school is actually possible at this point. Especially if people are needing... I mean, every single incident led, let's try to return the students to normalcy, but we also need to push them further and further into being professional heroes quicker and quicker.
I don't know what to compare it to because it's almost like it's an earthquake. It's almost like what happened in the past few episodes has been an earthquake, and there's an 100% guarantee that there will be an aftershock. But it can happen at any moment. It doesn't have to happen in an hour. It doesn't have to happen in a day. It can happen within the next year. But you have to live on edge and unsafe until it happens again, right? Until that villain is caught. Until that we succeed as heroes.
And imagine how many more villains will pop up with this boost of confidence. Like, if you were a villain, wouldn't you especially want to follow Shigaraki now?
Hey, man.
If you saw the destruction that he caused and the amount of heroes that were taken out by decay here.
If you're teetering, like if you don't know if you should be a hero or villain, and you're like, oh, I kind of have evil tendencies, but I feel like I'd get caught. Like, I feel like that would bring you out.
On Tuesdays, I'm a villain.
Yeah,
but, maybe I'll decide to do it all week.
You know what, though? I don't think Gentle Criminal would be, like, helping out Shigaraki right now. I don't. I'm sorry.
No.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. Oh, Best Jeanist? Yeah, no way he was dead. No shot.
Bringing him in after Bakugo gets hurt and sacrifices himself basically for Deku
is
so
shit!
I didn't even think of... I did not think that he was gonna enter into the story.
Does that put Bakugo's life more at risk? Because he's who he needs to tell his hero name to. You know?
We're gonna hope not. Oh, when the light just leaves him. And do you see his limbs just falling like that?
Nice catch. Did he catch all three of them too? Like...
Oh. Still fighting.
Nice. That means Ida's here too, right? Nejire? Hell yeah.
Gran Torino was in Manuel's arms.
Oh! It looks like Todoroki froze Ryukyu's arms. How are you still conscious?
Over. Okay, we went back a little bit. There was a smile on her face.
Cool sound design. Are you gonna tell her that? Oh!
Oh my gosh! Toga wants to talk about love.
It's like Black Whip. Froppy. Jesus.
Is Toga gonna leave
Hop
now?
back on board. I love how Todoroki's drawn right now. Level 100. Flash Fire Fist!
Oh!
Kindling.
Which master's gonna talk here?
I hope that he's somewhat tired. Dabi's here, Endeavor's here, Shoto's here.
Just watch me. Looking at the back. Calling Shoto Shoto.
Dyed hair.
Stop!
Nah, bro.
What an
Nah,
entrance!
fucking nah. Yo.
What?
I just...
Oh my god. To just...
I feel like
Stop.
it's Christmas. Is he switching the camera to it?
He's gonna broadcast this.
Yo!
Oh, no.
Dabi's so
She's
fucked up, bro.
watching.
Dabi is fucked up.
Oh no.
Pre-recorded?
This is pre-recorded.
Look at his body. There he is, people. God damn. What is Publix? That looks like Endeavor's fan.
He's gonna destroy Endeavor here, just in all ways.
Nah, bro, he's tapped. Oh! It's music. It's animation. He's like dancing to this.
They haven't moved. He couldn't negate the overheating. That's a proud smile.
You should be able to go where I wanted to go. He's covered all his
Are you
faces.
serious? The blood he left behind.
Fuck. Oh, no.
I was waiting for them to show the other siblings.
He didn't. Shh. Best genius better come in. Show him it's not true.
That's why he had his past in his real name. They're like
What?
the opposite. They're like the opposite, Dabi and Hawks. Look, boy, this is bad.
Look at his hair. It's so cool.
Oh, I know. With the black not all the way washed out.
Look at how happy he is.
Flash Fire Fist. Prominence.
No. Ice melted away. Best Genus. Holy shit. Bakugo.
Thank you for showing me Bakugo.
What are they?
What an entrance.
Like denim ropes?
I am so glad there's more parallel to Dabi and Hawks than just basically the feeling like Hawks was another son of Endeavor, and that there's more of this like reverse parallel to them.
Okay, that was My Hero Academia, Season 6, Episode 11. I cannot tell you how happy I am to be a fan of My Hero Academia right now. Like, I think that the way that they have pulled this off and shown the unveiling is masterful. Like, I truthfully, like, you have this piece of information that I don't talk to a lot of people about My Hero Academia, but I'd imagine a lot of people who are also watching the show would at least question and think, oh, Dabi's probably Toya, especially in the past season or two.
Ever since Endeavor took more of a forefront in the storyline, I have felt like it's become increasingly more obvious. Though I do remember, like, I originally watched the first 2 seasons when they first came out, basically. Mm-hmm. And I think I even might have had, it's been a while, but I believe I already had slight feelings toward that direction. Like, I wouldn't be totally surprised beforehand.
When we first started dating and we first, like, talked about My Hero, because you had only watched a little bit, and then I got into it, watched 3 seasons of it, because that's all that was out. I was like, oh, no, this is totally it. Like, this is like this is a theory that I have, Anna. And then you were like, huh, I could totally see that. Mm-hmm. And then kind of forgot about it. You didn't watch My Hero. I kept up with the seasons, but that was it. And then you finally caught up and we're here. And like, it's.
And now we were on the same page before this episode completely.
But
like, I think we were both sold.
It's not, in my mind, it's no like, it was never meant to be anything but like a crazy mic drop to the audience in just that. And that's why I love it so much, because I've said it before, but like, if you write something into the story that's a mystery and people find it out, or it's obvious to people, that doesn't mean you should change that plot twist or that reveal. It's about how you handle the reveal. Mm-hmm. And how they handled this reveal wasn't, oh, I'm Toya Todoroki, end of the episode. Fuck no.
Right.
They said, I'm Toya Todoroki, and then every single second that was added onto this episode after it reinforced the emotion behind why the reveal is how strong it is. And just to finish it off with Dabi / Toya using Prominence Burn has got to be one of the most, like, stab in the back, through the heart, through my son's heart, too, like, moment. It's so... He doesn't give a fuck, dude. Like, Dabi is trying to inflict the most physical and emotional damage possible to his brother and father, and it is one of the coldest things I've ever seen in an anime. It's so fucking crazy.
I completely agree with you, but I'm going to touch on something you said at the very beginning of what you were talking about how this was a mic drop to the audience, a mystery, a plot twist. And I feel like the best mysteries or plot twists that I enjoy the most are the ones where if I rewatched this, I would see these embedded Easter eggs of information that could have, if I paid a little more attention, or if I hindsight 2020, could have connected these things and theorized it, you know? And we already did theorize it before the actual reveal. So I think in my head, the mic drop wasn't really for us. It's almost like we went to a concert for a famous band that we love, and we didn't necessarily know what songs they were gonna sing.
Yeah.
But we were hoping they sang our favorite song, and they did. But there was someone in the audience that had never heard their music before, and was like, "Whoa!" So it's like this was a mic drop for the Todoroki family.
Well, no,
this was like, the characters in the show had no idea. We might have known. And so we're
exactly.
watching.
You're right.
That's why it's more fulfilled. Like, if we were finding out here and there wasn't other Todoroki family members finding out for the first time here, if Endeavor had ever had an inkling, this wouldn't have been as great as it was. If we had had Shoto speculate, if someone else in the show speculate about Toya, this would not have been as good. But it's like, we had an inkling, and so we were just watching basically like a forest fire happen, like internally to this family. Like, we saw it coming and we couldn't stop it because it's in the screen, and it's like we knew to yell out and tell them, hey, this is the thing, but we couldn't reach them. And that's why it's just so much better than, oh, this is for the audience. Like, it's so weird because these are characters, but it's like, I love when things are for the characters in the show and not exactly wholly for the audience. It's like almost like a shared, like, we were there with Shoto and his dad that moment.
I think you hit the nail on the head. I think it's exactly that. It wasn't a reveal to us. It was a reveal to Endeavor and Shoto. And I think that we got to be a fly on the wall for it. And, like, that's what it should have been, because it, like, the devastation, and I'm trying to, like, I'm just thinking about every time that there was close calls of them getting close to each other. Dabi, like, poor little Shota Todoroki, like, when in season 3, and then Dabi and Endeavor meeting at the beginning of season 5. Like, just like, they didn't have the interactions with Dabi that we did, you know? So, like, just how devastating this would have been to them.
This is all orchestrated by Dabi. I think he wanted to have the most devastating blow. He didn't want Endeavor and Shoto to find out on a minuscule incident. He did
a DNA test.
He wanted to pack all of the punches in one and release them at the same time. Like, not only was he like, I'm gonna destroy you when you're already destroyed, he was like, the public is already gonna hate or lose faith in the heroes after this incident is over. They're already not gonna... It's like, once he saw that Endeavor was trying to be the #1 hero, he was like, now's the time to crush my dad.
Yo, you're exactly right.
Like, All Might out of the picture, Dabi's like, it's my time to shine is coming. Like, he is a patient dude.
He's a patient fuck, dude. He was sitting there biding his time, like, just like tapping his leg, like fidgeting, being like, oh shit, it's coming together.
Yeah.
This is the perfect time to do it. Shit, it's getting better. It's getting better.
And he
it's
said
like
a line that
orchestra.
basically says that.
Yeah.
He said, you reap what you sow.
He
sowed all of this.
I pulled this up because I wanted to read through the next couple lines that include that, because I think that, like, so during reactions and stuff, for my own sake, I would love to remember what character said, especially if it's good. You know, I'll write down lines if I want to talk about them or touch on them. And I had to, like, just, like, stop and enjoy the moment at one point, because, like, the dialogue was so well done, and Dabi's lines with the music in the background and the voice acting, it was so well done. So Dabi saying to the fam, what's up? It's been a while. The time you spent talking to your kids made you feel the bonds of family, right? You thought you could live properly if you only looked to the future, didn't you? Looks like you don't have a clue. So let me tell you, the past won't go away. You reap what you sow. And then to finish it off, like, let's fall together, NG Todoroki. Come dance with me in hell, won't you, father? Hellfire is his quirk too.
Oh my god, okay, and...
The character art, the drawing, like...
Not only was he waiting for Endeavor to be #1 hero, he was waiting for Endeavor to connect with his family again. He was waiting for Endeavor to try to be a good dad, to be like, you can't ever. You remember when, like, Natsu was like, I can't forgive you for the things you've done, and there was that coldness there, and we had the siblings kind of all being on different ends of the spectrum in terms of, like, Shoto was like, I'll watch you, but that doesn't mean, like, I will want to be close with you, but I'll watch you try to be a better man. And it's like, this was all things that Toya wanted in this like sick way. It's still this like kid that wants his father to love him, but it's also like, I want to hurt you, so I'm gonna wait until all of my siblings love you again or start to crush you. It's
not even like, it's interesting because the character of Endeavor is my favorite writing that is in this entire show. I think, like, obviously, like, I love other characters, love Bakugo, but the direction of, like, the severity of how they've taken Endeavor's character is so interesting to me. And
there is a heavy severity.
But I think it's the most important person to put emphasis on in this whole situation isn't anybody that's been shown a lot this episode. I think it's Natsu, because like that was the last piece, I think, because like you said, we only got
him once, and we got him at the very end of seeing any of the family reactions.
Yeah. You said it, like Todoroki was like, yeah, I'll watch you, father. And they've had the interactions that they had at the sports festival. The sister is like trying to piece things together, but
the mother is even It's Endeavor not brings like flowers for her, and she keeps them, and she looks at them.
But it's not like full forgiveness or I love you again, and then from any of them. But it's so far away from that for Natsu that we had one of the most heartbreaking scenes in this entire series where Natsu was saying all of his emotions to his dad, and I'm not quoting exactly here, but he said that he couldn't forgive his dad, and Endeavor said that he wasn't seeking forgiveness, he was seeking penance, and like he Endeavor as a character wasn't on it wasn't redeemed fully, but he was on a path that I think everybody was content towards for redemption. He wasn't there yet, but he was in a place where each of his individual familial relationships were on their own separate path to one day hopefully mend something, right?
Something. Maybe not everything, maybe not have call you every day, sit down for dinner relationship, but definitely not the same level of animosity.
Exactly. And it has taken 6 seasons, realistically only probably like 3 of like Endeavor work to get him to this place, and he's finally there. And now Dabi comes in, and you can feel the patience of it.
But it's interesting too, because here you brought up that he's ready for penance. Endeavor's not moving here. Does he see this as penance? Being attacked here, like he deserves it, and I don't know. I don't think that's what's going through his mind right now, because obviously he's just so like, oh my god, I searched for you. Oh my god, that's my kid. Like, that's not the thoughts that are in his head right now.
Yeah.
But if we were to think about what he's willing to do for his family in order to make up for how he treated them, this might kind of fall under the line of the punishment that he feels like he deserves.
I agree with you. I with basically everything. I think that he's not thinking about it right now. If he started to think about it, he'd say, well, this is what I deserve. But I think that if he took it a step further and thought about it a little more, he'd come to the conclusion of he needs to be there to help the rest of his family right now. And even maybe for the best for Toya.
Yeah, wouldn't want his blood on his son's hands.
Yeah, I think that's what he'd come to, but holy shit. Want to know what killed me more than like a lot this episode? Todoroki looking at his dad being like, move, like we have to do something. And I was like, no. I was like, it was so sad.
The familial relationship we had there too, it was almost like it didn't necessarily have to be like so super family love and energy. It could have been a friendship, could have been anything. But there's a dynamic there where it's like, we know that this person has been kind of unwilling to reach out his hand completely to his father. And here he's crying and screaming for his father to move. And he plans on fighting his older brother because he knows his dad can't. Or he doesn't want his dad to in the state he's in, and he's hoping his dad will focus on saving Deku and Bakugo. And like here, Shoto is fully prepared to jump in front of his father, and he just wants his father to move out of the way and survive even.
Endeavor's expressions are so good too.
No, I think specifically for the Todoroki family, the like pupils in the eyes are like really tiny.
Amazing.
And there's just something about it that's so like I love it. And it's like, I think it invokes a lot of emotion, especially when they have a very emotional like expression on their face.
The way that they draw like shocked expressions or stressed expressions in their eyes in this show, they use lines from the outside in, and they look really good on the Todorokis. But so I don't speak fluent Japanese, but I can read somebody who typed up subtitles, and the person who did type up these subtitles, whether it's word for word or not, I think they are amazing for what Todoroki's saying, what Choto's saying. Like, please move, protect them in regards to Midoriya and Bakugo. But this, when he's crying and he says, hey, do that later.
And we know what he's referencing. He doesn't even have to say it.
Exactly. It's the simplification and almost like, I don't know, the layman, I don't know. Okay, so like when I'm thinking of diction or speech patterns in like anime, I a lot of times think of Goku as a kid because he uses more of like a farm accent and it's different word usage. And when I think of, hey, do that later, it's like it's condensed and simplified, and like it's just, I don't know, the way that it's like do that later is so like blunt and broad, but we know exactly what it means, and it's so awesome.
I think translation is almost like an art form.
Yeah.
Because everything doesn't translate perfectly, and it might sound really like dynamic and awesome in the original language it was written in. So then when you have to translate it, and then you're basically picking words there that you think have evoke that same emotion, that same idea. It's almost like an art form in terms of like, if you do it where it also has that same like dynamic touch, that same poeticism, you know. And I always am like, especially when we watch shows where the dialogue I find to be one of the best parts of the show, I always like in the back of my head, I'm like, wow, the person that translated this did a really good job. I feel like they must have really been in touch with the energy of the original language.
Yep. I want to touch on other things this episode, but another one of my favorite things is around timestamp 21:16 when Dabi is using Prominence Burn. And
when he said it, I think we both like freaked out.
I was freaking out, and then the thing that like took me to the next level was seeing the ice on Endeavor's shoulder
and just slowly melt. It was like right here.
I was like, fuck, you didn't even do that. That's so cool. Like, I was like just like watching it. Deku Bakugo's expressions, Prominence Burn, the animation's going crazy, flying right towards Endeavor. The ice is melting off of his shoulder. Close up, almost like the polar opposite of Endeavor's face when he uses it with the blue and the sketchy looks. Oh my god.
Did you like, I could almost see it now as being like a poetic, like, your other kids aren't a part of this. This is between me and you. We're the two fire. Everyone else either has ice or has both. And so when he melts that little bit of ice that's left on Endeavor, and his focus is solely on Endeavor, I feel like it's so poetic for those things to happen. Like, obviously it's hot, so of course the ice is gonna melt. But there's also like so much meaning there where it's like, his focus is not his siblings.
Yeah.
His focus is between fire and fire. You and me, I was your eldest son. I'm the one that was supposed to carry this on for you. I'm the one that was basically the failure to you because I didn't have both, and that's what you wanted.
Like, how I see it is Dabi basically being like, Endeavor, you trained me to kill 30 innocent people. Like,
yeah. I can't believe you whipped out a paternity test. Like,
bro,
that was way too realistic for this shit. Like, when he said it, I was like, wow.
That was like Maury. Wow. That was nuts. He was like, you're
I feel like
the father.
I'm watching like a morning show.
Yeah.
Like, this is crazy.
Endeavor, you're the father. Here are the receipts.
And Endeavor like walks off the stage and he's like, the cameras follow him, and Endeavor's like, no, my son died.
Dabi was like so cold. I thought he was gonna like pull out death certificates for the 30 innocent people he killed. Like
he was so ready.
Yeah, he was so prepared and like shirtless and like hot, and I wasn't prepared. But to talk about other things this episode, going through my notes, I have like Ochako and Toga's conversation. Okay. Toga, I never even really thought too much about what Ochako would feel after hearing that Toga used her quirk for murder in that sense.
I think when it happened, I think you even said to me, maybe in discussion, maybe not, that Uraraka would be very unhappy to know that Toga did this. I think you might have even said it during the episode. I don't know for sure, but I remember us talking about something almost exact to that.
Did we watch that episode together when you were watching it for the first time? I can't remember.
Oh, no. Wait, no. You joined me. So
I don't remember if I joined you on that episode.
Eventually, some of my reactions from season 3, 4, and 5 will be posted full lengths on Patreon. And Ben did join me for some random couple episodes as an observer. But not for the discussions. And I can't remember if that was one of the episodes because I feel like we talked about it, but maybe I just talked to the camera about it, and that's why.
No, I remember talking about it too. I don't remember if it was on camera or in the car though. But regardless,
we talked too much in the car.
Regardless,
it's like not talk in the car.
Uraraka's like expression said it all. Like, God, what would that do to you? I mean, like. Obviously, it's not your fault, but just knowing it.
Well, think about it this way: what if someone
you'd blame yourself for getting blood caught?
What if you had a gun in your house and someone stole your gun and shot someone?
Yeah, that's a good comparison. You're right. I think that's a really good comparison, especially because Ochako is trying to actively not let Toga get more blood to potentially do it again.
But also, this was like I feel like once we learned what happened with Toga there. Has never been talked about again, that she can use the quirk.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when that happened, I was like gobsmacked. I was shocked. I was like, wait, what is happening?
One of my favorite moments in My Hero Academia.
Yes, because it wasn't a crazy place to go with her getting stronger and developing her quirk more. It was like, whoa, wait, that's possible? That is scary. That is scary.
Dude, I think My Hero Academia is one of the shows that handles executions the best. Like
execution in
as
terms
in not murdering people,
not
but
death.
Like, yeah, but like executions is in like how they play out their plot. Yeah. Like they handle big moments very well. Like and then give us big moments that we don't expect. Like like they live up to it, like which is nuts.
I feel like some shows I have issue in terms of understanding maybe the intricacies of the otherworldly aspects of the show, and I feel like this show has given me so much evidence to use toward other theories. Like when that Toga thing happened, it's not totally crazy to think about it and then go further and be like, well, if she took Izuku's blood, that it wouldn't work, because when we know from Monoma, most of the time when people can use other people's quirks, they can't for stockpiled quirks.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we can take these little pieces of information that we've gotten from other characters about their quirks and about just this system in general, and then it can further our theories in a more maybe realistic to the narrative path.
No, I think you're right.
What could happen and what maybe couldn't happen.
I think that's with every detail of the world, though, because so I'm sitting here watching Ochako fight right before Sue even gets there, and I see her have the idea of using her equipment to get these objects to use zero satellites, right? That this power where she flings them at people, but Originally, it reminds me of Black Whip, right? So I'm like, oh, that's something to connect it in universe. But then you want to know what it reminded me of?
What?
Fucking Endeavor's, It's Hell Spider, maybe?
Oh, okay.
It's when he used it in his fight against the Nomu in episode 25. And I think he used it again this season. When he has, like, the flames coming out of his fingertips. And slices, and he sliced the building into little ununiform pieces. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when Ochako was doing that, it kind of like reminded me of the same motion. And I'm like, I wonder how much influence these individual characters get from watching heroes in the TV.
And then it also takes you back to when Deku was being trained before he got float by his friends who do or have similar quirks to float.
Yeah.
And it's like all of them learn techniques based on other people or fighting styles. Like, obviously we had the most prominent and maybe the least creative of the first examples, and that is Deku literally taking like the smashes,
Yeah.
you know. But then it can further down the road of like
Ida,
people with completely
Gran
different
Torino.
quirks using inspiration. With Todoroki, it's also kind of uninspired in a way because it's been passed down to him, these techniques and these names.
I think that this show would be like, if I'm honest, I don't really know like what the public perception is, but I think it would propel this show into like my top 5 if the animation was stupid extra like it is in like shows like Demon Slayer, or like I'm not like, it shouldn't have to be, and it doesn't have to be. It has other qualities working for it, but like I like the story, but like there are some like fucking crazy shows out there like Mob Psycho, like where they lean into the animation that goes crazy. I think that the animation is good in this like season so far. I think it's better than last season's animation. I think it's been consistent and good. Nothing has been like, holy shit, what's going on, like it has in previous seasons so far of My Hero. But the one thing I will say that has impressed me more than any other season so far is the character design. Like how they are drawing Aizawa or Dabi or Deku even, or like Todoroki this episode, like Shoto. Like I'm blown away by it. I think it's so good.
Every single panel on this storyboard is detailed and great. And I think one of our favorite things is, I wonder if I randomly pause on some panel in this episode, is the art like great and fluid, and yes, yes it is. Wow.
Bakugo, his organs hit. That's not good.
Oh yeah, okay.
Endeavor's
so we learned what
crushed.
his injuries are. Lung is crushed for Endeavor.
Yeah.
Gran Torino is being cradled in the arms of Manuel.
Ryukyu's arms are frozen.
Is that something? I don't know medical stuff. But I know that when Shigaraki broke through Ryukyu's arm, do you think that or scales, do you think that's a direct injury when Ryukyu goes back to human form?
I don't know how it would transfer. Like, part of me thinks it'd be like a hole in her arm, but then I'm like, okay, if it's like a massive hole in a dragon and then you go back to human, would the hole still be as big?
Yeah, and does ice help with trying to keep her okay and blood loss? Like, I'm not really sure what
I mean, it's better than nothing, that's for sure.
Right, probably. Yeah. Like, I know you can cauterize wounds with heat, but I'm interested in what the ice would do, other than like, oh, my arms are sore, better ice. I mean, it'd
preserve it a bit, for sure. It's just like, and I'm sure in this world,
it might numb the pain, but I don't know if that would then have an effect where it would need to like hypothermic, gotta get it cut off. Yeah. You know? So I'm like,
okay, the last thing that I really have, other than just Dabi looking really, really good, is Hawks' dad. Yes. Hawks in general, I guess, and the parallels with Dabi, and Hawks' dad being a villain, and not only being a villain, but a villain who was captured by Endeavor. Mm-hmm. That's nuts. I agree with what you said, that like it's really cool that they've added another layer to the Dabi Hawks connection and parallel.
And it helps strengthen the initial suspicion that I felt by how Dabi so willingly, and Hawks was even like, Dabi's like immediately accepting me to some degree into that I'm really willing to go against the heroes. And Dabi seemed to be playing a game, and he really was. He probably already knew who Hawks was, and or had found out pretty soon after Hawks started helping them. Yeah. And he never let Hawks get too close, which we saw, but he was playing along with it because he knew eventually the truth about Hawks, but also that Hawks looked up to Endeavor, and that Hawks and Endeavor had some form of a friendship growing based up probably on Dabi's orders. Yeah. And then to also, it's like Dabi was just like, this is my field day, my mastermind plan. It's all coming together. He squashed both of those heroes with this message. He said that he killed a villain as he was running away. Yeah. that is not going to look good to the public. That is not going to look good.
Part of me, I'm like, man, I wish a camera was here so at least the public could see that Best Jeanist isn't dead, you know?
Yeah,
but,
especially because once he said that, we were like, haha, we've already seen.
We've already seen BJ.
That's interesting. Do you think that it might have been, I mean, interesting, but might have been better for the plot twist Best Jeanist is alive to have happened right after Dabi said that, or later in the episode after Dabi said that? Or, I mean, I can't say because obviously I enjoyed how it happened, but I do want to just bring it up. Maybe other people would be able to theorize how they think it would have gone if we had found out by the entrance of, like, what if that had just been it?
Yeah.
That Dabi says this, that Best Jeanist has been taken out by Hawks, and then the very end there, we see these things come from the sky. We don't know who it is. Like, we knew who it probably was when it started, because we knew Best Jeanist was on his way and he was going to come from the sky.
Yeah.
But what if that had been the entrance? And then we look up and they show Bakugo and they show Best Jeanist falling from the sky.
That'd be cool. That's also cool. But I think that for me, I want to, like, get in the mind of Hawks right now, because first of all, I think that he would feel so guilty and bad about what's happening right now with Endeavor.
Mm-hmm.
And how Endeavor feels. I also think he'd have a lot of aggression towards Dabi.
Yes.
But also, what past did Hawks have to have with his dad? How shitty must have his dad treated not like him, or how strong Hawks' sense of justice must have been to watch your dad be a villain, get arrested, not be mad at Endeavor for it, or not have pent up, or like, I'll
idolize
avenge
Endeavor.
You.
Instead, not be mad at Endeavor, but idolize him.
Yeah, it's so interesting to me. And then you obviously have already gone down, something has happened where you're like, Endeavor saved me in one way or another. I idolize him. I look up to him. I look up to you. You're the only one trying to surpass the #1 hero. And you want to just help this person and be beneficial to him. And in a roundabout way, you were a piece of the big puzzle that was Dabi's unveiling of this information that hurt Endeavor. I wonder what Hawks is feeling like.
And there's that extra anger because a death that Hawks didn't want to have to do, Dabi's using.
Yeah.
And Hawks didn't want to kill twice. He was trying to save twice. I mean, even if that meant jail for twice, he didn't want to kill him. He wanted to take him out of there. I didn't think that that was a place that he needed to be, was with the villains. And now his death is being used by Dabi. Which is, you know, a lot of the times you'd be like, how could you use your someone you say is your friend's death as, like, to hurt someone else? But in a way where it's not like you're a truly genuine friend. You can, like, use it and be, like, advocate for your friend and their death. But that's not how it feels with Dabi. Dabi's like, yeah, I get more evidence. That's kind of what it feels.
Yeah.
Like, it's not as, like, loving toward twice. So I think that would hurt Hawks too, that this death that he didn't, on multiple layers, didn't want to do already as a hero. He doesn't want to kill people. And then on the next layer, he specifically didn't want to kill this villain. Like, I'm sure that's going to hurt him when he wakes up. I mean, we got that image of him still unconscious, and I was wondering if Tokoyami was going to have a phone on, but I was like, he's in the middle of, like, fight and trying to save Hawks. He's not going to be looking at his phone watching this broadcast.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, like, where we're going from here, right? Mm-hmm. Because part of me feels like something has to happen that will give the villains a chance to get away. Like,
even though we just had Best Jeanist enter the frame.
Correct.
Which is,
I don't see it just being ended here. Shigaraki's captured. We're all captured. Yay. What I do think, though, is that this is like, information has been dropped and conveyed this episode in such a way that it will make the, I think, impending rematch between everybody so anticipated, because now we know who Toya is. Mm-hmm. We're going to go home tonight, I think, and start recovering and being like, holy shit, it's Toya. I feel responsible for this. We're going to take him out. Or we're going to feel like maybe even Hawks will have time to recover and feel a bit responsible, and we'll see Endeavor and Hawks versus Toya at some point. Like
maybe,
I don't know.
At the moment, when we think about Best Genius has entered, we know that eventually Shigaraki will probably wake up and order Makia to get them out of there. But for some reason, I could see it going where everyone else gets away except Dabi. Which could be interesting for its continuation of an emotional arc with Endeavor, where Dabi's in prison and maybe Endeavor sits down and gets to talk to him or something.
Yeah.
Could be interesting. Could possibly be compelling. But I do like seeing Dabi in action a little too much to just go and put him in prison now, especially now that, like, I hope forever he just has a little bit of, like, the black still on the tips of his hair.
It's so cool.
The gradient there is really nice.
The last scene of him being caught, it looked like it was all white, but the black, extra tint is so good. My last thing was probably a complete misunderstanding, and I realized that, but
I have a last thing after your last thing.
Cool. When Compress was talking about Dabi, like, unveiling himself, he had a line being like, oh, so you have a...
That felt weird.
You have, like, a whatever lineage, too. Like, a prominent lineage, too. And it felt weird initially.
Just the timing felt a little weird initially to me.
The timing made me be like, who are you, Mr. Compress? But I think just thinking back about it, he was probably acknowledging that Shigaraki is
that's what I think. It didn't
grandson,
hit immediately on to me, and I was like, wait, who's he talking to? Like, who's he talking about? My last thing was the most comedic thing that happened in this entire episode, and that is the fact that this boy that was watching the computer with his friend was over, and his friend does not call him by his real name. His friend calls him Look Boy.
Yeah, and then he was like, Look Boy, Hero's not looking good right now. Guess we can't be friends anymore.
I'm gonna leave. I need to go home for the day. Yeah. And I was like, wow, way to not give this guy, like this kid, an actual name, because it's so funny to me that, like, what if this kid really became friends with him just because he was like this internet meme,
this like minor celebrity. He probably has like 7,000 followers on Instagram. No sponsorships yet. He
just only posts like Endeavor stuff.
Yeah. He's not wearing the scarf anymore.
Something he's at home.
Yeah. Still though, it's his like brand.
Look boy.
Okay,
that was my last thing.
You good? Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time.